The kola nut lasts in the mouth of those who values it. In the big city of Lagos, there lived a young lady named Ada. Ada was 23 years old. She had dark, curly hair and bright, shining eyes. Ada was born into a very rich family. Her father's name was Chukwudi, and he was the richest man in the city. He owned many businesses and had a lot of money. Ada's mother, Ngozi, was very kind and loved Ada very much. One sunny day, Chukwudi called Ada into his big, beautiful house. He had something very important to tell her. Ada sat down on a soft chair, and Chukwudi looked at her with serious eyes. "Ada, my dear daughter," Chukwudi said, "I am giving you all my wealth. You must take care of it. Be wise, be humble, and be kind. Do not let the money make you proud or mean. Remember what I always say, the kola nut lasts in the mouth of those who value it." Ada nodded. She loved her father and wanted to make him proud. But she was also excited about the money and the big houses, the fancy cars, and the beautiful clothes she could buy. At first, Ada tried to be wise and careful with her money. She gave some to the poor and helped her friends. But soon, she started to forget her father's words. She began to spend money on big parties and expensive things. She became proud and did not care about being kind anymore. One night, Ada threw a big party in her mansion. The house was filled with loud music, and people danced everywhere. Ada wore a shiny dress and a big, sparkling necklace. She felt happy and powerful. But in a dark corner of the house, a mysterious old woman watched her. The old woman's name was Nena. She had deep, wise eyes that seemed to see everything. Nena knew about the secret Chukwudi had told Ada. She saw how Ada was wasting her father's wealth and becoming proud. As the party went on, Nena approached Ada. She touched her shoulder gently and whispered, "Ada, do you remember your father's words about the kola nut?" Ada turned around, surprised. "Who are you?" she asked. "I am Nena," the old woman replied. "I am here to remind you that the kola nut lasts in the mouth of those who value it. Be careful, Ada, or you will lose everything." Ada laughed and shook her head. She did not believe the old woman. She thought Nena was just trying to scare her. Ada turned away and continued dancing, ignoring the warning. But that night, something strange happened. As the party ended and the guests left, Ada realized her shiny necklace was missing. She searched everywhere but could not find it. She felt a chill run down her spine. Little did she know, this was just the beginning of many mysterious events that were about to unfold. Ada felt scared when she could not find her shiny necklace. The next morning, she woke up to find that some of her money was missing too. She looked everywhere but could not find it. Ada remembered what Nena said at the party. She felt worried but tried to forget about it. She told herself that everything would be okay. Days went by, and more strange things started to happen. Ada's beautiful dresses began to tear. Her fancy cars stopped working. The big house felt cold and empty. Ada was confused and scared. She did not understand why all these bad things were happening. One evening, as the sun was setting, Ada sat alone in her big, quiet house. She thought about her father, Chukwudi, and his words, "The kola nut lasts in the mouth of those who value it." She remembered how happy she was when she tried to be kind and wise. Just then, there was a soft knock on the door. Ada opened it and saw Nena standing there. The old woman looked at her with kind eyes. "Ada," Nena said, "do you remember my warning? The kola nut lasts in the mouth of those who value it. You must change your ways, or you will lose everything." Ada felt tears in her eyes. She nodded and said, "I remember, Nena. I want to change. Please help me." Nena smiled gently and said, "It is not too late, Ada. Be kind, be humble, and take care of your wealth. Start by helping others and being wise with your money." Ada promised to listen to Nena. She decided to be a better person. She wanted to make her father proud and keep his wealth safe. But deep inside, Ada still felt a little scared. She wondered if it was too late to fix her mistakes. That night, as Ada lay in bed, she heard a soft, whispering voice. It seemed to come from the shadows in her room. The voice said, "Remember, Ada, the kola nut lasts in the mouth of those who value it." Ada sat up, her heart pounding. She knew she had to be brave and strong. The mystery of the missing wealth and strange happenings was not over yet. Ada knew she had to be brave and strong. The next morning, she woke up early. She decided to visit the poor people in her neighborhood. Ada took some of her money and bought food and clothes for them. She felt happy when she saw their smiles. Days went by, and Ada continued to help others. She fixed her fancy cars and shared rides with people who needed them. She gave her torn dresses to a tailor to make new clothes for the children. Ada started to feel better and more at peace. One day, while Ada was helping at the market, she saw Nena again. The old woman was talking to some children and giving them fruits. Ada walked up to her and smiled. "Nena, I have been trying to be kind and humble," Ada said. "But strange things still happen in my house. I hear whispers at night and feel cold even when it's warm." Nena nodded and said, "The spirits are watching you, Ada. They want to see if you truly value your father's wealth and his words. Keep doing good, and they will bless you." That night, Ada returned home. She felt tired but happy. She sat in her father's old chair and closed her eyes. Suddenly, she heard the whispering voice again, but this time it sounded gentle. "Ada," the voice said, "you are on the right path. Keep valuing the kola nut, and your wealth will last." Ada felt a warm breeze in the room. She opened her eyes and saw a faint, glowing light. It was as if the spirits were smiling at her. Ada smiled back and whispered, "Thank you." The next day, Ada found her shiny necklace on her bed. Her fancy car started working again, and her house felt warm and cozy. Ada knew she had to keep being kind and humble. She remembered her father's words and promised to never forget them. But deep in the shadows, something still watched her. The mystery was not over, and Ada knew she had to stay strong and wise. She did not know what would happen next, but she was ready to face it. Ada felt happy to find her necklace and see her cars working again. She knew she had to keep being good. Every day, she helped more people. She gave food to the hungry and clothes to the poor. One evening, Ada was sitting in her room. The sun was setting, and the sky was orange and pink. Suddenly, she heard a soft knock on the door. Ada opened the door and saw a little boy standing there. The boy had big, sad eyes. "Hello," Ada said gently. "What is your name?" "My name is Obi," the boy replied. "I am lost and hungry." Ada felt sorry for Obi. She brought him inside and gave him some food. Obi ate quickly and smiled at Ada. "Thank you," he said. "You are very kind." Ada felt happy to help Obi. She let him stay in her house. Obi helped Ada with her chores and made her laugh with his funny stories. Ada felt less lonely with Obi around. One night, as Ada and Obi were sitting by the fire, they heard a strange noise. It was coming from the old attic. Ada and Obi looked at each other with wide eyes. "Did you hear that?" Obi whispered. "Yes," Ada said, feeling a little scared. "Let's go see what it is." Ada and Obi slowly climbed the stairs to the attic. The door was old and creaky. Ada pushed it open, and they saw a dusty, dark room. In the corner, there was an old chest. The noise was coming from inside the chest. Ada and Obi walked closer. Ada's heart was beating fast. She opened the chest slowly. Inside, they found an old book with a shiny cover. The book seemed to glow in the dim light. "What is this?" Ada wondered aloud. Obi looked at the book with wide eyes. "It looks like a magic book," he said. Ada picked up the book and opened it. Inside, there were strange drawings and words she did not understand. Suddenly, the room filled with a bright light. Ada and Obi covered their eyes. When the light faded, they saw a ghostly figure standing before them. It was an old man with kind eyes and a gentle smile. Ada gasped. "Who are you?" she asked. The old man spoke in a soft voice. "I am your ancestor, Ada. I have been watching you. You have done well to value the kola nut, but your journey is not over. There is more you must learn. Ada and Obi listened carefully. They knew this was the start of a new adventure, full of mystery and magic. They did not know what would happen next, but they were ready to find out. Ada and Obi looked at the ghostly man. They were both a little scared, but also curious. What must we learn? Ada asked. The old man smiled and said, You must learn the secrets of the kola nut. This book will help you. It is a book of magic and wisdom. Use it well. Ada held the book tightly. She nodded and said, We will learn. Thank you. The old man began to fade away. Before he disappeared, he said, Remember, Ada, the kola nut lasts in the mouth of those who value it. Stay humble and kind. Ada and Obi watched as the old man vanished. They were alone in the attic again. Ada looked at the book and then at Obi. We need to read this book, Ada said. It will help us. Obi nodded. Yes, let's read it together. They sat down and opened the book. The pages were filled with strange symbols and drawings. Ada traced her fingers over the symbols, feeling a warm glow. As they read, the symbols began to make sense. The book told stories of the kola nut and its magic. It said the kola nut was a symbol of kindness, wisdom, and strength. It had the power to bring good fortune to those who valued it. Suddenly, the book's pages flipped on their own, stopping at a picture of a big, ancient tree. Under the picture, it said, Find the great kola tree. It holds the secret to lasting wealth and happiness. Ada looked at Obi. We must find this tree. Obi nodded excitedly. Yes, let's go. The next morning, Ada and Obi packed some food and water. They set off on their journey to find the great kola tree. They walked through fields and forests, following the pictures in the book. One day, as they were walking, they heard a rustling noise. They stopped and looked around. From behind a bush, a small, brown monkey jumped out. The monkey had bright eyes and a cheeky smile. Hello, the monkey said. I am Chica. What are you looking for? Ada and Obi were surprised. They had never met a talking monkey before. Ada said, We are looking for the great kola tree. Can you help us? Chica nodded. Yes, I know the way. Follow me. Chica led them through the forest. They walked for many hours. Just when they were getting tired, Chica pointed ahead. There it is. The great kola tree. Ada and Obi looked up. In front of them stood a giant, old tree with wide branches and shiny, green leaves. The air around the tree felt magical. We found it. Obi cheered. Ada smiled and looked at the great kola tree. She knew this was just the beginning of their adventure. The tree held many secrets, and they were ready to discover them. Ada and Obi stood in front of the great kola tree. The tree was very big and very old. Its branches reached high into the sky. The leaves sparkled in the sunlight. Chica, the monkey, climbed up the tree quickly. Come, follow me, he called. Ada and Obi looked at each other. They knew they had to be brave. They started to climb the tree. The bark was rough, but they held on tight. When they reached a big branch, they saw a small door in the tree trunk. Chica pushed the door open, and inside, it was dark and mysterious. Ada and Obi stepped inside carefully. Inside the tree, there was a glowing light. It led them to a small room. In the room, there was a golden chest. The chest had beautiful carvings of kola nuts and leaves. Ada opened the chest slowly. Inside, she found a shiny kola nut and a small scroll. Ada picked up the scroll and unrolled it. The scroll had tiny, glowing words. It read, The one who holds the kola nut must share its magic with others. Only then will the wealth and happiness last forever. Ada understood. She looked at Obi and Chica. We must share the magic kola nut with others, she said. Obi nodded. Yes, we must help everyone. Chica clapped his little hands. That is the true magic of the kola nut. They climbed down the tree with the magic cola nut. Ada felt happy and excited. She knew they had a big job to do. As they walked back to the village, they saw many people who needed help. Ada gave food to the hungry, and Obi shared water with the thirsty. They gave clothes to the poor and helped fix broken homes. Each time they helped someone, the magic cola nut glowed brighter. Ada felt her heart fill with joy. She knew her father, Chukwudi, would be proud. One evening, after a long day of helping people, Ada, Obi, and Chika sat by a warm fire. They were tired but happy. Ada looked at the magic cola nut. It was glowing brightly. "We have done well," Ada said. "But our journey is not over. We must keep sharing and helping." Obi and Chika agreed. They knew there were more adventures to come. The mystery of the cola nut was still unfolding, and they were ready for whatever came next. Ada, Obi, and Chika sat by the warm fire. They were happy but knew they had more to do. The magic cola nut glowed brightly in Ada's hand. The next morning, they woke up early. Ada said, "Let's visit the nearby village. Maybe they need our help too." Obi and Chika nodded. They packed some food and started their journey. They walked through fields and crossed a small river. After a while, they reached the village. The people there looked sad and tired. Ada saw an old woman sitting alone. Ada walked up to her and said, "Hello. How can we help you?" The old woman smiled weakly. "Our crops are not growing. We have no food." Ada looked at the magic cola nut and had an idea. She held the nut close to the ground and whispered, "Please help these people." The magic cola nut glowed and sparkled. Suddenly, the ground shook a little and green plants started to grow. The villagers watched in amazement as fresh vegetables and fruits appeared. Obi and Chika helped pick the fruits and vegetables. They gave them to the villagers, who were very happy and thankful. The village children danced around Ada, Obi, and Chika, singing songs of joy. That night, the village had a big feast. They ate the fresh food and celebrated. Ada felt her heart fill with warmth. She knew the magic cola nut was working because they were sharing its magic. After the feast, the village chief came to Ada. He had a serious look on his face. "There is a dark forest nearby," he said. "It is filled with strange and scary things. Can you help us with your magic cola nut?" Ada looked at Obi and Chika. They were a little scared but nodded bravely. "We will help," Ada said. The next day, they walked to the edge of the dark forest. The trees were tall and twisted, and it felt very cold. Ada held the magic cola nut tightly. She knew they had to be brave and strong. As they stepped into the forest, they heard strange noises. Twigs snapped and shadows moved around them. But Ada, Obi, and Chika kept walking. They knew they had to find out what was causing the darkness. Deep in the forest, they found a hidden cave. From inside the cave, they heard a soft, whispering voice. It said, "Who comes to my forest?" Ada stepped forward and said, "We come to bring light and help. We have the magic cola nut." The whispering voice grew louder. "Prove your kindness and bravery, and the forest will let you pass." Ada, Obi, and Chika looked at each other. They knew this was another test. They had to use the magic cola nut to bring light to the dark forest. What they didn't know was how many more tests awaited them inside the cave. Ada, Obi, and Chika took a deep breath and stepped into the dark cave. The whispering voice grew louder and more menacing. Shadows danced on the walls, and eerie sounds filled the air. Ada held the magic cola nut tightly, hoping it would guide them. As they moved deeper into the cave, Ada felt a strange pull. She started to remember the times when she had not listened to her father, Chukwudi. She remembered the lavish parties, the expensive clothes, and the feeling of power that came with wealth. She realized how far she had strayed from her father's words. Suddenly, the cave wall seemed to close in, and the shadows grew darker. The magic cola nut dimmed, and Ada felt a heavy weight on her heart. She stopped walking and fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "I have failed," Ada whispered. "I forgot my father's words. I let the money control me. I was not humble or kind. Obi and Chica looked at Ada with sad eyes. They knew she was telling the truth. The cave seemed to respond to Ada's regret, and the whispering voice became softer. You have realized your mistakes, the voice said. But the magic Kola nut cannot save you now. The wealth you had is lost because you did not value it. Ada cried harder, knowing she could not change the past. She had wasted her father's wealth on trivial things. She had let the money get to her brain and control her. The magic Kola nut, once so bright and powerful, was now just a dull object in her hand. The cave's shadows began to fade, and the light outside grew brighter. Ada, Obi, and Chica walked out of the cave, but the joy they once felt was gone. Ada knew she had to live with her regrets. She had lost everything because she did not listen to her father's wise words. Back in the village, the people noticed the change in Ada. She was no longer the bright, happy girl they had known. She was now a reminder of how important it was to value what you have and to be humble and kind. Ada spent the rest of her days helping others, but the wealth she once had was gone forever. She knew she had to work hard to rebuild, but she would always remember her father's words, the Kola nut lasts in the mouth of those who value it. She had learned this lesson too late, and it was a regret she would carry with her always. Subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos.